Boom! Hi everybody, how are you doing? Is this actually Tekking or our Brick Lord? Well, Barry, fun fact, he's actually been manipulating me. See, before, like, even time existed, you know, there's always been Barry. Barry has really technically been manipulating everybody, honestly. We're all just cogs in his, you know, brick plan, basically. We're the mortar in his, brick house of the universe. That's a good analogy. Let's just go with that. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Tekking, you're awesome. Well, thank you. There's a little bit of a weird thing with this one where usually there's more people that are here by now, so I don't know if this is going to take a while for this. YouTube's been doing weird stuff this week. I don't really know. I don't understand it. We're all cogs in YouTube's world. That's a good analogy. That's a good one. It goes Barry, then YouTube, then me. Barry knows the Void Sentry. Oh yeah, Barry knows the secret of, like, everything. You know, he just doesn't tell you. Mostly because he, you know, he knows that if he explained that, it would just, you know, your mind wouldn't be able to comprehend. That's a good question, actually. All right. Now, let's say... I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this. Let's say... Alright, let's keep it simple. Let's say you had a button in front of you. Like the easy button. Remember the easy button from Staples? Like, click, that was easy. Let's say you had a button in front of you, okay? And you push that button, and if you push that button, you will instantly know what the One Piece is in One Piece. Like, you'll just know what it is. It's not like Oda personally calls you up on the phone and tells you. It's not like, you know, you find out about it through other means. It's like you push the button, and then you know. Alright? You know what it's going to be. You don't see anything else of the future. You don't know what lottery numbers are going to be or anything. You just know that one thing, okay? Would you push that button? There's the question. Nah, I won't press it. Nah, I wouldn't press it. I wouldn't press it either. I mean, well, no, I wouldn't press the button because that would completely screw up, like, the entire story knowing exactly how it is going to end, you know? Yeah, no, you can't press that button. There's certain things, like, I don't know, if it's like a different manga, like, okay, if it was a button that I could press and it would tell me how Black Clover was going to end or something, I'd be like, alright, I might be more inclined to push that button. I like Black Clover, I don't know when it's going to be ending, I like the story and everything like that, and that would be a spoiler, but it's like, One Piece is not just a story. One Piece is a damn adventure that's been going on for almost 25 years at this point. So, you know what I mean? So at this point, like, if it gets spoiled, like, I often think about how the final, like, stretch of this manga is going to go, right? So imagine, like, Oda tells us, like, there's a year left of serialization. Like, he comes out at, like, Jump Fest or whatever. It's in December. And he says, yeah, December of 2024, Oda makes an announcement. And he's like, yeah, it's going to be ending next year. Like, 100% One Piece will be ending in 2025. I don't know the exact month, but it's going to be ending in the next year. The amount of chaos that will be created. Because I do think Oda will do that. I think he'll give us, like, a year heads up. I don't think it'll be a thing like Bleach, where it was like, you know, 6 weeks left and then it's over. You know, and also, just, like, the flow of the story, we'll have a pretty good idea. Like, when the Straw Hats are finally setting sail for Laugh Tale, we'll know as a fan base, like, okay, the story's probably going to be wrapping up pretty soon. But if we have a good idea of how long it's going to last, you know, it's like a year left. I often think about, like, what happens when the chapter comes out with the One Piece reveal? Like, you know, people are like, they're probably going to spoil that, and it's like, that's going to be an intense week, right? That's going to be a bit of an intense week there. Blessings from Kazakhstan. Oh, that's cool. Don't get a lot of messages from Kazakhstan. I love Barrymore. Yeah, most people tend to. Somebody asked me, where did I get Barry? Barry existed before the dawn of time in the universe. It was actually Barry's influence that created the Big Bang. Fun fact. So yeah. And then there was Met Crab Barry for Halloween. Yeah, people have asked me to make a mechanical crab, robotic crab sort of costume for Barry for Halloween. I do not know how to make costumes. That's not really in my wheelhouse, but hey, I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll come up with something. I wonder if they make giant crab, like not giant crab, but like crab outfits for like dogs. Because have you seen like around Halloween, people will post pictures of their tiny little dogs, but they're dressed up like spiders. So like giant spiders walking around. Maybe they can make something similar with crabs. I don't know. Thoughts on the Vinland Saga, Thoughts on the Vinland Saga, Doug. It's Doug from, the old show on Nickelodeon, Doug, but he's portraying Thorfinn in Vinland Saga. That was a very bold, option, but I'm glad they're going with that. Doug playing Thorfinn, I think it could work very well. No, I didn't know there was a dub of Vinland Saga. Is that announced or is it out? Because when I first watched Vinland Saga, I could have sworn there was, because I didn't watch it when it was first airing. So it was like a couple of months after it was airing, and I was like, okay, there has to be a dub of this, and there was not. And I was like, oh, okay, well, there's got to be one sooner or later, right? And it's been like over a year now, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess this is just one of those that they're not going to dub. But if they are dubbing it, I would love that. Yeah, I only played one of the Roblox I can't talk today. I only played one of the Roblox games like once. It was good. I'm not a huge gamer, and when I do game, it's always the games I've always played like before, like a million times. Like, oh, time to dust off Pokemon Silver or Gold again for the 15th time. Or Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. I was thinking about this the other day, So I'm a big fan of Simo's channel with the progression series of Yu-Gi-Oh! And he's doing the progression series, the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! He's doing a new series right now called Sealed Showdown, which is really awesome. But I was like, man, when I get a new studio, I want to do something Yu-Gi-Oh! Related. And I'm like, well, I can't just do another, like... I saw other people doing progression series, but, like, that's his thing. I don't want to do that. But I'm thinking, man, I have played a few of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games. I've played some before on the channel, but I was thinking maybe I could go back and do, like, a progression series of Yu-Gi-Oh! Video games. Starting from, like, the PlayStation ones. There was a few on the Game Boy Color. I remember, not the Game Boy Color. I think there was one on the Game Boy Color, but it was really shitty. There was one on the Game Boy Advance called Sacred Cards I remember playing as a kid. And that kind of takes you through the Battle City arc. And then there was a sequel to that called The Reshef of Destruction. And then there was Duelist of the Roses, which I played on here before, way back in the day, like a couple years ago. And then there was Falsebound Kingdom, I think, for the GameCube. I've never played that one. But there's a few. I think there was even one on the Xbox. So there's a few Yu-Gi-Oh! Games that would be really fun. And Forbidden Memories is one of my favorites. And I've played it already on the channel before, but I would definitely do it again. I would definitely play that game again, because that was a really fun one. That was like the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Game I ever played growing up. The Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship games on the DS are great. Oh, that would be fun to play. Thing is, DS emulators are a pain in the ass. I've used them, like, I think there was, like, I think I tried to play Pokemon Platinum, and then there was I played Pokemon White, and then I was doing White 2, and I think I just stopped. And I kind of remember doing the DS emulation, and it was a pain in the ass. It might be easier now. It would also probably be easier just to get a modded DS, because you could do that too. I just didn't have the money for it at the time to, like, buy a modded DS to just, play the games through the DS alone and just capture through that. But I might be able to do that now. I'm not sure. But that would be further down the line. If I did do this, it wouldn't be until after I move, and then at that point, it would still take a while to get through all the games. But that would be a lot of fun. That would be a lot of fun to go through all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Games. I was looking down a list of them. There's a lot of them that were Japanese only. And I was going through... Actually, yeah, it was the one on the Game Boy Color. I think it was called Dark Duel Stories. And that, I think, was technically the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Game to be released in the States. It was like a day before Forbidden Memories came out for the PlayStation 1, okay? So, I'm playing Dark Duel Stories just to get the hang of it, and oh my god, that game is so primitive, and the soundtrack is just like a bunch of like beeps, and it's like playing it for like 2 minutes was like irritating beyond all measure. Just like the soundtrack alone was pretty bad. Yeah. Ugh. Is your move coming any closer? Not at the moment, no. There was a house I looked at a couple weeks ago, put an offer in on it, could not get it. The housing market is not very fun right now, and a lot of houses seem to be going for over asking price. And I even put asking price on the house, and that wasn't good enough. And in fact, I even knew one of my friends, actually, I didn't know that they were also bidding on the same house. So I bid on this house, and then later that night, one of my friends was like, I hear we also bid on the same house. And I'm like, oh, really? Did you get it? And I'm like, no. So my friend put 5,000 over asking, and even he didn't get it. So I feel like for that place, somebody had to come in and just be like 10 or 20 for a lot more than that at the moment. So I'm working on it. You're buying a house? Well, trying to at the moment. It'll get there at some point. Zuma, 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 zuma. Excited! How are you today? I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Went down, we got to see my grandfather this morning. Then we went out to eat breakfast, me and my mom. That was pretty good. We just got back from that. It's kind of raining out right now, so I couldn't really go for a walk. So I thought, pretty good time to do a stream. Trying to keep the streams to Saturday. Trying to maintain... I actually talked to my YouTube manager this past week, and I'm like, trying to stick to somewhat of a schedule, because it does help the channel. It does, to have like a regular schedule of at least like pick a day of the week, and then just do streams that day pretty good. So Saturdays seem to be pretty good for that. So we're going to keep that up. Last week, we, of course, had Reverie, hosted by Mr. Morge over on his channel. Go check out the Reverie if you haven't yet. It was a pretty good one. And I also think those Morge plushies are still on sale. So if you want to get a Morge plushie, go buy one of those. You might need to think about an apartment. I can't do an apartment. Well, the problem with apartments is if I lived maybe closer to a city or something, they might have, like, studio apartments or loft apartments. But not around here, and I really don't want to move out of this immediate area. I'm going to move out of this little mountain village I've grown up in, but I don't want to move, like, I thought about it, too. I thought about, like, maybe I should just, you know, fuck it and move to, like, the West Coast or whatever. Move to, like, Seattle or a suburb of Seattle. I don't think I could afford that, but it's like, I was throwing out the idea of, like, moving to another state, and I'm like, I really don't want to move away from, like, everybody, because, like, all my family, all my friends are in this area. I would literally be starting over in a completely different region. So I'm like, all right, I'm okay with living in the area, but yeah, I've looked at houses for rent, houses and like townhomes and like apartments, and I can't really find anything because I want to have space to have like a studio, like a proper office, because everything's right now in my bedroom, and my studio is like basically a tiny little closet. So it would be nice to have a separate room for the office, separate room for the studio, maybe have a room for just like, you know, fan mail I have, another room, maybe I have like, a podcast set, like another room to have a podcast set. I'd like to have a nice kitchen to do, like, I want to do cooking videos at one point. That Sanji cookbook is getting an English release, I think, in November. I would like to be living in a different house by November so I could make recipes with, like, the Sanji cookbook. That would be pretty cool. You had your first kiss the other day. Well, good job. Good job, buddy. Woo. Ever been to LA? No, I've never been to LA. I was a huge fan. Me and a friend from high school were really into the show 24, starring Kiefer Sutherland, and we were into that show throughout like all of middle school and high school when it was airing. And that entire time we're like, we're gonna go to LA, we're gonna go to LA, we're gonna go to LA. But of course we're like teenagers, we're like 14, 15 years old, so we don't have any money, and I never got to go to LA. But I'd like to visit. Roger lives there. I'd like to visit Roger. But also, you know, Anime X here. So next year, maybe. Really count. You know, in 2019, I'm like, oh, next year in 2020, I'll go to Anime Expo. Well, that didn't work out. And it's like, okay, well, 2021, I'll go. Well, that didn't work out either. So you can't really blame me for those. You know, like, that was beyond my control there. Let's see. You recently mentioned the possibility of Kuro making a return as a Black Panther Devil Fruit. That would be cool because he's like he's the cat, right? And he can do all those cat moves and everything, like the slashing stuff. Your mic is messing up. Yeah, you know, to buy a new Yeti. Can I hold your mic? All right. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me try something here. Something else here. Testing. All right. Is that better? You slammed your mic. Yeah, the audio is breaking, man. I don't even know, man. Can you hear me now? Am I good? Can you hear me now? Good. Remember those old cell phone commercials from, like, the mid-2000s? Yeah. The Mic Wars. Slam the desk again. Yeah, so you can hear me? Okay. That has been, and it's not even because I slammed the desk, that has been an issue when I've been doing videos. I think I need to order a new Yeti. Because this Yeti is like 3 years old at this point, and there's a lot of moments where I'll be editing a video. It actually happens a lot when I am loud, which makes sense, but it's not even just the audio cutting out. It's just a shitty situation. I don't know if it's the mic or not, but I've had this mic for a long time, so I think I might just get a new one. But yeah, there'll be times where I'll be doing a video like, and so then Luffy punched Doflamingo right in the... And then Frankie jumped over the... And then Nami pulled out the... You know, it'll like just cut in and out. And I have to edit all that stuff out, you know, before the video is like actually finished. And it sucks because it's like a lot of times I'll be on a roll. Like I'll be doing like a good moment or a joke or a skit or something. And then like halfway through, all of a sudden it'll just cut out. And like you're missing like 10 seconds of the joke. And so I have to just scrap the whole thing because it won't make any sense. Yeah. And it doesn't happen when I film downstairs, so it's not an issue with my editing software or anything like that. It's either an issue with XSplit or it's an issue with this mic. Because when I film downstairs, I'm using a Panasonic... Oh, what is the model of my phone? Not my phone. What's the model of my camera? I can't remember, but I'm using a Panasonic. It has a shotgun mic attached to it. It's pretty good. I want to get a better mic for it at some point, but yeah. I do like the Yeti. I like the Yeti. It is pretty durable. The other mic I used before this was this Blue Spark, which is good, except that one does kind of cut out a lot too because I think I dropped it too much. This one was a little bit heavier duty, but I've just had it for too long. It might not even be the mic that might be the issue. It might be, it might just be the XSplit. Maybe I have to update XSplit or go into that again. No, I'm not really looking for an editor right now. I kind of do everything on my own. Just to kind of, I'm like particular that way. Maybe at some point if I have a lot of other shows down the pipeline, like if I'm filming a podcast and doing One Piece reviews and doing something else, maybe at some point I'll be like, this is too much, I need to hire an editor. But for right now, I kind of have everything handled here. Yeah. Yep, that's a typical American, putting a shotgun as a microphone. Yeah, it's a double-barrel shotgun plugged into my camera. You know, it's like, that's how we do it here in America. It's like, yeah, it's a Rode microphone. It's okay. If you watch the audio of the reviews, it's not the best. I want to get a better one. And also, I think it might be an issue just with the studio not being soundproofed properly, so that's another reason. There's a lot of stuff I gotta do. I tag you to do what if you were born in the One Piece world, you will have your memories of One Piece knowledge. This is sounding like a lot like the isekai I did. But you not remember One Piece story, and what type of pirate will you be? Will you be part of the worst generation? Okay, I would definitely not be part of the worst generation. Okay. You will have your memories of One Piece knowledge, but you will not remember One Piece stories. So I'll like, okay, so I'll know like where the Red Line is and where Marijois is. Like I'll know the geographical locations in One Piece, and I'll remember like the kingdoms and the world government rules everything. I'll remember all that, but I won't remember the actual story. Like I won't know who Luffy is or where the Straw Hats go or crocodiles controlling Alabasta. Like I won't know anything like that. I'll just know like if I was a regular citizen in the One Piece world, I would have common knowledge from that. Like, okay, I would definitely not be... I'll tell you what I would do. I would be a baker. I would be a fucking baker somewhere in the South Blue. I'm not going to get involved with the world government. I'm not going to be a pirate. I'm not going to get involved with the Marines or the Cypher Pole. I'm going to be living in the South Blue, opening up my little bakery, and just trying not to die. Try not to get devoured by a giant freaking sea king or something, right? And if pirates attack the island, I am going to hide in a bunker. I'll build a little bunker under the bakery. That's what I would probably do. Bakeries for life. Thank you for getting back to me. Did you enjoy the pics? I'm sure Barry Plushie. Oh, and Amanda. That's Ann Amanda. She's the one that made the brick berry brownie stuff. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. And she asked me if she could use the berry plush in her own videos on her channel. And I'm like, if anybody out there has a berry plushie and they have an idea for a video and they want to use the berry plushie in the video or like in the background or whatever, that's fine. I don't mind. It's like, you're the ones that bought them. You can do whatever you want with them. Because she actually asked my permission. Like, is it cool if I use the berry plushie in a video? I'm like, go ahead. It's your plushie. You own it. Yeah. Tekking, what if you were 6'2"? If I was 6'2", it would be the exact same show, except I'd be like, hey guys, how you doing? Tekking here. You know, like, that would be the only difference. Anything? Okay, maybe I should clarify anything. As, like, it's a berry plushie, you know, like, I bought those Pokemon plushies, you know, I didn't have to contact Game Freak. Is it okay if I use that Celebi plushie in my YouTube videos? Where will you find the studio? When will you find a studio? That is completely up to the housing market. That is not something I have control over. This week has actually been not that great. There's been not that many houses that have popped up, and whenever a house did pop up, it was like way, way over my budget. So, yep. Baking is the coolest. Just glad I could catch a live stream. Yeah, maybe I could do baking live streams at some point. That would be fun. You're trying to start a podcast? Not at the moment, but I had the idea when Bleach comes back. I wanted to do something different for Bleach. I didn't want to just do, like, episode reviews or whatever. Because also a lot of these I've already talked about when I did the reviews for 5 years. So I thought, you know, maybe a podcast. I could do a weekly podcast. Like, let's say the Bleach episode comes out on Tuesdays. I could do a podcast like every Wednesday, every Thursday. And sometimes it would be by myself. Sometimes I'd have guests on, have a nice little studio. I have a logo for it somebody designed, and I could put it up in the background. And because I like podcasts, I like watching podcasts and stuff, and I like that setup kind of idea. Yeah, it wouldn't be the Bleach Virgin podcast, because I've watched all of Bleach, but it would be Tekking discusses the final year Blood War arc, yeah. Love from India. It's interesting that Oda references so many cultures from all over the world. Do you think the Gumu Gumu Devil Fruit will have an awakening that is inspired by the sun god Nika? We do not know so much about Nika right now. Like, there's such a mystery involved with that character. Have no idea. The way that Who's Who spoke about it, though, didn't seem like the Gumu Gumu no Mi was directly connected to Nika. Because, you know, the way he talked about it was just like, I got arrested for that, but then the guard told him about the sun god, and that was something different. So, I don't know if they're connected. It's also possible that it could be, like, you know, Joy Boy existed 900 years ago during the Void Century, and then he died, and then, like, 200, 300 years later, the story of Joy Boy as a hero got turned into a deity, because that has happened throughout history, so we could see where that goes. I work at a podcast studio, actually. They're super fun. Yeah, and I mean, I'm even sure, like, around this area, I could probably find a building space that I could do a studio in. And I've even had that offered, not offered to me, but I've had the idea brought up before, like, hey, Matt, you know, you could have a house that you could live in, and then you could have a separate space for, you know, filming and stuff, and you could just go back and forth between those spaces. And I'm like, yeah, I threw about the idea. I mean, I've been looking for a place for like 4 years at this point, like pretty much ever since I graduated college. So, I mean, like, I've thrown out so many different ideas. Yeah, I got super chat. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go back through them all in a second here. Hold up. We're almost there. How many different laughs are there in One Piece? There's a lot. There's a lot. All right, let's go through some super chats here, because I missed a few. I think Usopp will get future sight, except he will be able to see far into the future after all his lies have come true. That would be cool if it was like the opposite of... Not the opposite exactly, but a different kind than Katakuri, where Katakuri can only see like a few seconds into the future. Like, Usopp can only see like... It would be funny if he could only see like a year into the future at a time. You know, like, it wouldn't really help him in the immediate fight, but it would be a cool ability to have. Make a Toriko video, coward. You know, I do like Toriko. I go back and reread it every now and then. I feel like a Toriko video would be... I just feel like that wouldn't get a lot of hits, you know? Because Toriko, it's like the anime ended a long time ago. The manga ended around the same... The manga ended the same year as Bleach ended. There's probably nothing else that's going to be happening with Toriko. So, it's just one of those situations where I feel like the views are not going to be good, and it might mess up the algorithm. See ya, Tekking. Have a good day. See ya, Sean. Let's see. How awesome would it be to see Roger, Rayleigh, Odin, and Bullet use Conqueror's Hockey at the exact same time? Roger, Rayleigh, Odin, and Bullet. That would pretty much cause, that would cause a black hole, I feel. That would cause a singularity at that one moment. Maybe Roger's Conquerors, absorbs the other's Conquerors. Is that how it works? I don't know. But that would probably destroy whatever island they were standing on at the time. Let's see. Tekking, you missed my super chats. I'm getting there. You could always build a new room in the new house. Yeah, I could do that. That's another thing. I've really thought about all this stuff. The house I looked at a couple weeks ago that I put the offer on, it was a great house, and I wanted it. But the one thing that was weird, it didn't have any ceiling lights. None of the bedrooms, the living room, the kitchen did. The basement, none of the rooms had, ceiling lights. And I was like, huh, that's a little weird. Everything was lamps. And I'd be like, well, if I actually ended up getting the house, I'd have to get somebody, because look, I am not a construction worker. I am not a contractor. I could do very simple stuff like patch holes up in walls and stuff. When we start getting to an electrical work, I do not trust myself. I will probably get electrocuted. I would hire somebody for that. But, it's all right, well, I can give it a shot. And then that's how I die. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. But, yeah, no. No matter what house I get, there's probably going to have to be... I'm not going to find the perfect place. I'm going to have to make adjustments. But, making an adjustment to the point of, well, I could buy this house and add on a completely separate addition... That would take time, and I would have to film in there, and I can't... that would be too much. It has to have, a certain minimum. Yeah, but eventually, sure. If I've lived there for a while, and eventually I decide to expand or whatever, or renovate, I could do that. But for the most part, I really want it to be turnkey when I move in. Just use rubber gloves. Yeah, that's just 2 rubber gloves I buy from Walmart. Now I'm impervious to electricity. Oh, man. Will of D could be the will of D as in the smile, like an emoticon. Yeah, I've seen that theory before. Do you think Law's crew is stronger than they seem, or just disappointment? No, I don't think they're a disappointment. It's just that they haven't really had a chance to all show how strong they are in one unit. A lot of them are probably engineers just to keep the submarine running, because it's a submarine. It's not like a ship. It is a ship, but it's mechanical. You gotta have imagine how many people have to man a nuclear submarine in our world. There's an entire team of people that need to do that. So, I don't know if we'll ever see all Heart Pirates working together in one unit. I want to see Jean Bart. I want to see Penguin and Sachi really showing their stuff, what they can do together. And Beppo, of course. Beppo's Sulong would be cool. Jean Bart would be nice to see. Absolutely. Let's see. Writing my own story for a manga. Hope I can get this made. Also, do you think Luffy will be on War Arc Naruto level by the end of the series? No, I don't think Luffy will be level of Naruto, because at the end of Naruto could literally, he was a demigod, basically. He could fly, he could blow up mountains, he had complete control over his, over the nine-tailed fox, he had all the nine-tailed, all the, Biju inside of him and everything. He was, mountain-busting level shit. And I think in the movie The Last, he survives, basically a ground zero nuke attack on the moon. Because I haven't seen The Last, but I saw he survived this massive explosion. So, I don't think it's going to be anything that crazy. But Luffy will definitely be stronger, of course. Tekking always thinks of a way to mention Jean Bart. Yeah, Jean Bart and Wang Zhi! Let's see... Oh, Kuro's return. I already answered that one. Let's see. Thank you for being the only carrot for Straw Hat support at Reverie. I'm cool with her joining. I don't think she will at this point, because I feel like Oda would have focused more on Carrot during Wano, and he didn't. And that was kind of the deciding factor for me. I would still like her to join, but I doubt that's going to happen at this point. Still could, though. Hold out hope. Hey, do a what if Luffy ate a mythical zone type devil fruit? Oh, okay. Maybe. That's a good possibility there. What if Luffy ate the phoenix fruit or something? Yeah. Hey, Tekking, do you watch or listen to Overly Sarcastic Productions? Yes, I do. I got into their channel through the Dante's Inferno recap, and I've rewatched that many times. And I've also watched one on the history of Egypt that they did. They're talking about, like, Frankenstein and Dracula. Those were good videos. H.P. Lovecraft, she did a series on that. That was really good. Yeah, Overly Sarcastic Productions, really good. Check them out, absolutely. Good animations there. Thank you from India. Thank you. Let's see. Ace is named after Roger's saber, and he fought Blackbeard, who captains the Saber of Zebek. Seems like a crazy coincidence, right? What are your thoughts? I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think that's really a big connection there. I don't know if... Okay, a lot of people just assume that Roger named Ace after his sword, but, you know, like, oh man, this sword is awesome, I'm gonna name my kid after this, you know? Maybe it's a thing where Roger named his sword Ace, and the name might actually be relevant. Like, the person that inspired Roger to go out to sea, like, I don't know, Roger's grandfather or something, because we're going to get a story with that. Something had to inspire Roger, just like Shanks inspired Luffy. So maybe the person that inspired Roger was named Ace, and so he named his sword after him, and he also named his son in his honor. It might be a thing like with Gohan in Dragon Ball, where Gohan was Goku's grandfather, and then when Goku grew up, he named his son Gohan, you know? So same kind of situation maybe there. Did Barry replace the personas you used to do? Yeah, pretty much. He killed one right after another. It was, it's pretty brutal, actually. Yeah, Barry, he is all now. He is all, he is one. No, Ace named the sword Ace. Every character in the past was just named Ace. There we go. It all connects back to Ace. Tekking, I need to know your favorite music. Give me some artists, bands, albums, genres. I gotta know. My favorite band is Panic at the Disco. And my favorite artist, I would probably say, is David Bowie. There was a thing I had to do, some video. It wasn't a video on guitar players or whatever, but there was a video where I had to reference guitar players. And so because of that video, I listened to a lot of Jimi Hendrix. And Hendrix was just like, there's a reason he's considered like the best, you know, guitar player in history. So like Jimi Hendrix, my dad listened to a lot of like Leonard Skinner, AC/DC growing up. So, you know, Pink Floyd. So I've heard a lot of that growing up. That was my dad. I would get home from school, and then my dad would make me dinner. He would help me with my homework. And then probably around 5 or 6, you know, at that point, my homework's done and everything. And my dad would be like, okay, well, you can go and play video games now, or you can watch cartoons or whatever. I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to jam out. That was my dad's, like, I'm going to go jam out. And he would go sit in his bedroom, and he had the big speakers system, whatever, from like the late 90s. And he would just, you know, put on some like, you know, Ted Nugent or Leonard Skinner or something. And he'd just sit there in his room and just jam out. Like, that was my dad's, like, happy time, you know? And so I heard a lot of that growing up. Fruit fly. I did not kill it. Good luck, fruit fly. But yeah, my favorite band would probably be like Panic. Yo, Tekking, how are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. One thing that you always say that bothers me is you say Shanks doesn't really care about the One Piece when he and Odin's flashback said he does care about the One Piece. All right, well, I say that because it doesn't really seem like Shanks is in a massive hurry to get to Laugh Tale. Every time we see Shanks, he's always hanging out, partying on some island. It seems like he's taking the slow and steady pace to be a pirate. And remember, like, when, you know, Shanks said to Buggy, like, we'll go to Laugh Tale someday, Buggy. You know, they were, like, you know, 12 years old at that point. You know, Shanks is an adult now. Maybe he wants to go to Laugh Tale with Buggy, but it's not, like, forefront in his mind. Shanks is not like, I gotta get there as fast as possible. That doesn't seem to be the case with Shanks. He seems to be just enjoying his adventure, traveling around wherever, partying, hanging out with his crew. And, you know, he probably thinks, like, you know, someday maybe me and Buggy will go to Laugh Tale. Maybe someday we will realize that dream, but that's not what's important right now. And also he had the whole meeting with the Gorosei, talking probably about Blackbeard, I would assume. So I feel like that's more important for Shanks right now rather than, you know, getting to Laugh Tale as fast as possible. Not to say he's completely disinterested, like he never wants to go there, but only under certain conditions does he want to go there. Because I feel like Shanks being on Odin and Roger and Rayleigh's crew, if he really, really, really wanted to get there, he would have gotten there years ago, probably, because he has a better chance of getting there than anybody because he was actually on Roger's crew. He didn't go to Laugh-Tale himself, but he knows the kind of guy Roger is and the information. He was at least probably privy to the information of where roughly it is in the world, like where the sea chart is or whatever, So, yeah. Yeah, they'll go someday. I would like to see Buggy and Shanks together, though. Theory I came up with. This is from Derek. The gum fruit is Uranos, the ancient weapon. I don't think any one devil fruit is going to be the ancient weapon. But hey, it's an interesting theory to kind of tie everything back together. Here's Gabriel's question. $10. Thank you. Hey, Tekking, have you ever checked out Pokemon Adventure Red Chapter? It's a ROM hack that adapts the Pokemon manga, and it hands down is one of the best Pokemon games to ever play. I have a fun story to tell you, actually, just earlier today. So, after we went down to see my grandfather this morning, me and my mom went out to eat at, like, a little diner. We got breakfast. I got eggs and sausage. It was delicious. Anyway, so I'm telling my mom, she's asking me, like, okay, how's your videos going and everything? And I'm like, oh, they're doing good. I'm going to do a stream later today. And I told her that the Olympics were playing in the diner on the screen, on the TVs. And so I'm like, oh, well, actually, Shonen Jump, where all the stories I read, I talk about online, that's going to be on break this week because of the Olympics. And it's like, I don't know what to talk about. And on Sunday, tomorrow, because there's no Black Clover or Dr. Stone or My Hero, like the chapter's on break. Then One Piece is on break. Everything's on break. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about on Sunday yet. I haven't really decided for tomorrow's video. And my mom's like, talk about manga. Isn't there Pokemon manga? And I'm like, holy crap, there is! And I just immediately thought of Pokemon Adventures. I've never read it, but Pokemon Adventures exists. I don't think I'll be doing that video tomorrow, but it's a possibility. So, yeah. What are you going to do after One Piece ends? I have no idea. Even after the manga ends, I feel like, well, the anime will still be going for a little while. There'll still be movies. There might be a prequel or a sequel series or a spin-off where we focus on Kobe or Gaimon. I don't know. But at any rate, you know what? Actually, you know what? I'm going to save that for a video. I have an idea I've been tossing around. I don't want to bring it up here, though. I want to mention it for a video because this could be a really good video to do this week coming up. We got some pretty big super chats here, so hold on a second. I gotta get a drink. It's good tea. It's not sweet tea, it's just lemon. I'm just using the bottle. Okay. Oh, these are older super chats. Oh, wait, no, they're not. Oh, my God, it's messed up again. It keeps telling me these super chats are all from the 10th. Yeah. All right, but I got some pretty big super chats here, so let me read these. Then I might pause them. Okay. If I was born in the One Piece world, I would be a pirate that frees slaves, and I will R female celestial dragon and rip. Oh God. Okay, this is getting really dark. Oh God. I just realized what that R probably stands for. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Fuck, that's dark as shit. Oh, fuck. There was a while ago, I was gonna do a video on Dragon's Revolution, and I was actually going to try to talk about, like, what Dragon was actually going to try to do. Like, because he wants to get rid of the Celestial Dragons, and that got me thinking, like, is Dragon going to straight up murder all the Celestial Dragons? Like, is that what he's going to try to do? Like, even the women and the children? Like, because there are women and children that are Celestial Dragons, too. Like, is Dragon gonna, like, kill everybody? And I was thinking of that video, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. And I actually, it's one of the videos where I actually just stopped. And I'm like, okay, this video would be way too dark. It's going into some really messed up places. I don't know how Oda's going to handle it exactly. I would assume that Dragon would not just kill everybody. I assume Dragon would probably want to get rid of the Gorosei and the, like the leaders of the Celestial Dragons. He would want to get rid of them, but he would not, like, kill the children or whatever. Like, I would hope that he would not. So, that was one of the videos where I just stopped. Like, this is getting too dark, too real. I'm not probably ever going to make that video because, yeah, that's way too intense. Darkest super chat ever. Yeah, I think that might actually, win the award for that one. God. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to turn Super Chat off for a little bit just because we've gotten a few. So let's take a break from that. I'll go through the other ones, provided they're not as dark. And then we'll go through regular chat afterwards. And how are we at? We're at 1:42. I actually started the stream right around 42 minutes in. So, yeah, about an hour and a half normally. About halfway. Make a video of the top anime having their own Olympics, such as Bleach, One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, Naruto, etc., all against each other. That would be fun. That would be a fun video to make. Google actually has this really fun game you could play. If you haven't played it yet, go over to Google and play the little Olympic game they have. It's like it's reminiscent of like a Game Boy Color game, but it's really fun. It's really unique and fun, and it's more intuitive than you'd think for just like a little Google feature. But I thought it was too. I thought it was just like a little like thing, you know, the Google logo changes, you click a button, there's a little animation, and then that's it. But no, it's actually a fully realized game, and it's actually pretty fun. So I would go check it out. Yeah. Whoa, go down. There we go. Jesus Christ, yeah. Maybe Crocodile just dries out all the Celestial Dragons. That's dark, too. What islands do you think the Straw Hats will be going to after Wano and so on? What islands do I think the Straw Hats will be going to? Elbaf is one. See, I don't want the story to end, you know? I don't want the story to end. So I want there to be, like, Elbaf, and then they go to Sniper Island, where they meet Sogeking, you know, and they go to all these different islands. They double back to Raijin Island and all that shit. But, yeah, that's not going to happen. You know, it's going to be a thing where, it's going to be a thing where they're probably just going to go to Elbaf, and then they're probably going to go to Lodestar. You know, maybe Elbaf is where the last road poneglyph is, or maybe Shanks has it. I'm not sure. But they're going to have all that. And then they're probably just going to go to Laughtail afterwards, you know? And that'll just be that. Yep. Let's see. Have I ever been to Harry Potter, New York? There are a bunch of special ones. What would your one be like? And doesn't Shanks know where Laughtail is? So, let me answer the second part of that first. Shanks was present when they mapped out the route to Laughtail, when they had all 4 road poneglyphs lined up. You know, Shanks was there for that. It's just then Buggy got sick and they could not go. So I feel like Shanks should at least be able to look at the chart and be like, whoa, that's crazy. That's where Laughtail is. But then Buggy got sick and they didn't go. So maybe he might, like I said, know the vague location in the ocean where it is. Maybe. As for Harry Potter, New York, no, I haven't been to New York City since like 2013. It's been a long time and I want to go back. I want to go see, like, some Broadway shows and stuff. Like, that would be really neat. It's just, I haven't been back, and, you know, I usually went on, like, bus trips and stuff. I've never actually went to New York under my own, like, I never drove there or, like, took a bus or a train. I took a bus, but it was always, like, a thing where it's like, you know, okay, it's a bus trip, you have a day in Manhattan, then you have to get back on the bus and leave. I've never actually went, you know, like, to stay as long as I want or whatever. But I would love to go to New York again. It's a great city. Do you wish you were cool as Elio from Roger's Crew? If you don't know who that is, Elio was the guy, or Elio, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he was a dude on Roger's Crew that had, like, he just looked like a normal fisherman, to be honest with you. If you look at a picture of Elio, he just has, like, a mustache, a fishing hat, like a Hawaiian shirt. He's not super buff. He doesn't have a giant sword. He doesn't use guns or anything to fight. You know, he just, he's just a dude. He's just a dude that's just on Roger's Crew. But he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. New York is extremely crowded. Yes, it is crowded, and I would not want to live there. But it seems like a fun place. It is a fun place to visit. I've been there a few times. And then with Corona and everything, I have no idea what it's like now. But, you know, maybe when it calms down a bit, maybe I'll head back up. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you. Let's see here. If Luffy ends up fighting Akainu and Blackbeard, do you think Sabo and Kobe will help out with both fights? I would like Sabo and Luffy to team up to fight Akainu together. I don't think that's going to happen, though, really. I mean, that would be cool. What I think is actually going to happen now, what I'm kind of going with, is what if Sabo trains really hard with the Mera Mera no Mi? and he basically gets it to the point, like, he awakens it. He gets it to the point where the fire is hotter than Ace's was. And so just like how Aka Inu was like, magma's hotter than fire, therefore I win, we could basically have a flip of that where Sabo's like, I got my fire even hotter than your magma, like, boom, there you go. And that would be a cool way to end that little confrontation, Sabo defeating Aka Inu. I've been to Philadelphia once. One of my friends has family out there, and we all went to visit. We ate at a Japanese restaurant called Fuji Mountain. It was probably the single best Japanese restaurant I've ever eaten at, period. It was amazing. We went around town, we saw the Liberty Bell, we saw Independence Hall, like all the main, sightseeing stuff you'd see in Philadelphia. Yeah, it was a really cool time. And it happened right before, it was like November of 2019 that we went. So it was right before COVID really hit. COVID kind of started popping up around December in China, I think. So it was like one of the last things I remember doing before COVID. It's called Mount Fuji. I know it's Mount Fuji, but the restaurant was actually called Fuji Mountain. Like, that was the name of the restaurant. Or was it called Mount Fuji? I don't know. I didn't actually look at the sign. I was just told it was Fuji Mountain or Fujiyama or whatever. So, yeah. But it was pretty good. It was a pretty good restaurant, is the point. Yeah. Let's see here. I am afraid that Sabo will also die, and Blackbeard will have 3 devil fruits, Gura Gura, Yami Yami, and Mera Mera. God, I really hope Sabo doesn't die. That would be like, okay, Ace died, and no, his brother's gone, but it's okay, because Sabo's still alive, and he's got the Mera Mera no Mi, yes! Now, Sabo's dead, too! Now it really is just Luffy. Oh my god. Will you be reviewing the new Bleach anime series in 2022? Yes, I'm aiming to do that. Do you think Oda originally meant Tashigi to be Kuina when the story was shorter, but as the story grew, he changed it? Or he changed the storyline to Luffy and Sabo. I do remember that Oda originally stated that the timeline for One Piece was like 5 years. Like, he wanted to get the story done in 5 years. But then again, that was like right when he first started, so he had no idea how One Piece is going to be received or what. And with manga in Shonen Jump, there's a lot of manga we've seen before, of course, where you put a manga out and it just it lasts like 2 months and then it gets taken out of the magazine, like it didn't perform right. So going into Shonen Jump with a manga thinking that it's like going to be super, super successful, that might not be the best mindset. So Oda was like, maybe, okay, here's my new manga, One Piece. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. I would like for it to last at least 5 years, or 5 years is the story, but it might end before that. But then after a while, obviously One Piece, took over really quickly. It was a really popular story, and now it's the longest running one. Well, not the longest running, but it's the most popular manga in Japan. So I really think Oda has as much time as he needs to get this done, to be honest with you. Let's see. I think I answered all those ones. I want to get a One Piece tattoo sleeve, but I don't know where to start. I don't want it to be too corny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any tattoos. I was thinking about getting one. It wouldn't have been a One Piece one I was going to get. It was going to be like a family. My family on my dad's side is Scottish, so we have like a Scottish clan crest. And my mom's side of the family also has a symbol, so I was thinking it would be cool to combine the two symbols together, the Scottish clan crest and the symbol from my mom's side from the Ukraine, kind of merge them together and then have it tattooed on like my chest or my arm or something. I don't know if I would ever get an anime tattoo. My one friend has a lot of anime tattoos. He has a Gengar, I think he has a Dragon Ball one, he has a skull, he has a lot of really cool tattoos. But I don't know, a tattoo to get. You know what? A One Piece tattoo that I would get that I wouldn't think is like too corny, and corny is like subjective, but I would just get Ace's tattoo. Ace's tattoo would be really cool. The ASCE with the S crossed out, that would be a cool tattoo to get. Or the 3D2Y, like that would be sweet to get the 3D2Y tattoo. If I ever did get a tattoo of a One Piece, like based from One Piece, it probably wouldn't be anything like, it wouldn't be like I get a tattoo of like, like Usopp or like Chopper. I get a Chopper tattoo. Like, I love Frankie. I would probably never get like a Frankie tattoo or something like that, right? Maybe I would get like a Battle Frankie, like BF38, like a, you know, BF and then 38 over here. Like, that would be cool, like on my shoulders, like Frankie has it. Like, maybe I might get that. Probably not though. Yeah. The X mark on the arm, that would be a good one. Like, to just get the X on the arm, and then that could represent so many things. You know, if you don't want it to be, like, cheesy or anything like that. Even the Jolly Roger. I don't know if I would pick the Straw Hats Jolly Roger. The Straw Hats Jolly Roger is cool. But I like Law's Jolly Roger, the smile. Like, that's cool. I like that one. Yeah. BF sounds wrong. Best friend 38. Yeah. I have a theory that the next arc will be a new war of Straw Hats and Revolutionaries versus the world government at Marijois, where they will rescue Sabo, Vivi, and Boa. She is escaped slave after all. What do you think? Oh, like they're all going to be captured, and then the Straw Hats are going to have to team up with the Revolutionaries to go and fight at Marijois. That's another thing, too. Like, I want the Straw Hats to go to Marijois and, like, actually get involved with stuff there, but that's way back at the Red Line, so it doesn't really make any sense for them to go there. I mean, unless Luffy learns about Sabo, because they're in Wano right now, so they're kind of isolated from the outside world. So after Wano's over and they leave and they find out that Sabo's like about to be executed at Marijois or something, Luffy would definitely want to go. Luffy would be like, let's turn the Sunny around, let's install a hot air balloon, and let's get up to Marijois, right? You know, I got the Straw Hats tattoo. I would love, I mean, it's nice, I like it, it's not my favorite Jolly Roger. Yeah. I don't watch Troll Hunter Tales of Arcadia. No, I've never even heard of that. I saw the season finale of Loki, though. Pretty good. Pretty good. I want to get into Bleach because of all the videos you make, and was wondering if you recommend with the anime or the manga because both seem good. Yeah, the only thing with the Bleach anime is there's a lot of filler arcs, and they are long filler arcs. Like, the Bount arc alone is like 50 episodes. So what I would do is go on Bleach Wiki or the Wikipedia page, whatever, and then find where all the filler arcs are, okay? There's not that many filler arcs. It's just whenever there are filler arcs, there's, like, long ones. So I think episodes 1 to 63... is all mostly canon. There's a few filler episodes thrown in there with, like, Don Kanonji, but those are still pretty funny, so I would recommend to see those. But I think episode 1 to 63 is canon stuff from the Substitute arc and then the Soul Society arc. And then episode 64 to, like, 109 is the Bount arc. So just, I mean, the Bount arc's not bad, but, you know, maybe if you just want to stick to the canon stuff, skip over all that. And then that's the Arrancar arc, and then the Huecamundo arc afterwards. And then, like, right around episode, like, 165 or whatever, 167, that's when the Amagai arc starts, and that goes all the way into, like, the 90s. So that's, like, another 30 episodes of that. And then you get back to the fight with Ukiura and Ichigo, and then there's the Karakura Town, fake Karakura Town starts. And then there's another filler arc with the Zanpakuto Spirits, which, once again, these are not bad filler arcs, it's just they go on for so long, and I feel like they could be compressed a lot shorter. Like the Bount arc, I feel like you could do the Bount arc in, you didn't need 50 episodes for that. I feel like 25 to 30 max would have been okay for the Bount arc. Even maybe less than that you could have gotten it done in. But anyway, then there's the Zanpakuto, and then the Zanpakuto after that, there's a little mini filler arc attached to the main filler arc called the Beast Sword arc. Skip over all of that, and then you get back to Ukiura, then you get back to the fake Karakura, they defeat Aizen, and then there's one final filler arc, the Reigai arc, which is also pretty long. I think that one's at least like 30 episodes, and then you finally get into the Fullbringer arc. Okay, so if you cut out all of the filler arcs of Bleach, how many episodes was the Bleach anime? I think the number that's popping up in my head is 366. But I might be wrong on that. But let me know how many episodes were in the Bleach anime total. Yeah, there's filler inside of the Bount arc, if that makes sense. Yeah. What if Vegapunk was a member of the D-Clan? Perhaps. Perhaps. 363. 360. I don't think it was 360. I feel like if it was 360, I would remember that because 360 is like such a... Yeah, it was 366. Bam! I was right! Yeah, I remember shit. Yeah. I remembered shit. I had to move a lot of the Bleach information out of my noggin to make way for One Piece information. I can't be the Bleach encyclopedia and the One Piece encyclopedia at the same time, but I still got some Bleach knowledge in there. I still got some stuff in there, yeah. So, yeah, so 366 episodes of the Bleach anime. I would probably say, oh God, it's over 100. I guarantee you it's over 100. It might be even close to 150, because I know the Bount arc alone was 50 episodes. Amagai's was like... Actually, I think Amagai's ended around 190. So it was probably maybe only 20 or 25. But that's 75 right there. The Zanpakuto filler lasted a while. Because I remember I was watching the Zanpakuto filler like weekly, and I remember that. And I remember waiting over a year to get through that shit. I mean, it's not shit. It's okay. It's just, I want to get to Ichigo fighting Ukiura, and instead it's like this filler, you know? It's annoying week by week to slog through that. But man, I would probably say close to 200 episodes of that 366. Maybe like at least 150. 150 probably. So you cut that down. Probably 200 episodes of Bleach canon, which isn't really that bad because the next season isn't going to happen for a while. So you have time to watch 200 episodes of Bleach in like a year. Yeah, you could do that. 284 canon episodes. Okay, so that's not even 100. What? That doesn't sound right. There's around 150 episodes. Yeah, 150 episodes, 284 canon, but it's 366, so it'd be like 220 canon, something like that. But it's doable because the next season's not going to happen for a while, you know. Yeah, 130 filler episodes. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. It's like 40% filler. Yeah, but, you know, the one positive of that is, yeah, when you're watching it weekly, oh god, it's horrible. But now that the Bleach anime is over, you can choose which to watch. You know, you don't have to sit through it, okay? The whole series is in dub and it's in sub. You can watch pretty much the whole thing whichever way you want now, so you don't have to worry about it like I did when I was, like, in high school watching it weekly on Adult Swim, like, trying to get through the freaking Bount arc. You know, you can now watch it whenever. So, there you go. There you go. No, I haven't watched a lot of Demon Slayer. What if Zunisha is an island that ate a mythical elephant fruit? I don't like to think that. I think Zunisha is just an elephant. And actually, Oda did give the species name of the elephant, so I don't think it's a devil fruit user. Yeah. And this one's from 2000. Yeah, this is the one that, like, Sabo also dies. I hope not. But yeah. I watched whole One Piece in about 40 days. See, that's crazy. People message me sometimes, like, I read the whole One Piece manga in less than 2 weeks. I'd be like, holy shit. I mean, like, hey, good on you. Good for you. But I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that at all. You know, do I have any siblings? Nope, only child. Yeah, I couldn't do that. Like, even when I read all of Chainsaw Man in one night, I was kind of getting to the point. Like, Chainsaw Man was really good, so by the end of it, I was, like, really disturbed, but at the same time, I was like, well, that was a good series. But that was about 70 chapters I read in a single night, and at the end of that, I was starting to feel a little bit winded. So with One Piece, with over 1,000 chapters, you know, like, I can't even imagine starting to read it from scratch. Like, you've never read it before, period, and you want to get to know about the story, and you want to learn about it and everything. Like, it would take forever. For me, it would take forever. Chocolate! Chocolate! I turned off Super Chats for right now just because I wanted to focus on the regular chat. We might turn them back on before the end. We have about, like, half hour or so left of this. I saw the movie video yesterday where Luffy actually became a Marine at the end, and the credits, Garp wakes up and it's a dream. That would be funny. You could do a lot of what ifs. Like, that's the point. They're movies, right? So have fun. They're not canon. Like, a movie where Luffy is a Marine. Do it. Why not? All the Straw Hats are Marines. You can read it in a week. It's not that long. Yeah, well, I don't read that fast. I couldn't read that fast. 70 chapters in one day was a lot for me, and 70 times 7 is 700, but I couldn't read it. I couldn't read 70 chapters every day. Like, I couldn't do that. No. It's like what happened with JoJo's. I had a big moment where I burned out on JoJo's, and I had to stop midway through part 4, and it was like years before I could finish. A Tekking live stream, it's a first for me. Well, I'll be trying to do these from Saturdays from now on, around mid-afternoon. Maybe sometimes I'll do them a little bit earlier in the day, like around 11 or noon. But I'll mostly try to do them on Saturdays. $70 times 7 is 700. I don't know math. I don't have math skills, ladies and gentlemen. That's not exaggeration. I really do suck at math. Biggest fear? Wasps. Wasps everywhere. I wake up and there's just wasps in the whole room, and then they sting me, and then I die, probably of a heart attack. Wasps are terrifying. Oh, dude, the other day, so I have my air conditioner in my room, right? Okay, I have 2 windows in my room. You don't really ever get to see them in the videos, but there's one over there where my air conditioner is, and then there's one right here on the opposite end of my desk, okay? So this one's usually shut. Air conditioner, okay? Right under the air conditioner is our garage where we kind of keep our trash cans. For the, we put them there, take out the trash. They're kind of like against the house, like on the side of the garage, okay? So the other night, I'm asleep. I go to bed. I get woken up around like 3 a.m. And I wake up and my room smells like fucking skunk spray. Like, it smells like a skunk literally got into my room somehow and just sprayed all over the place. Like, it was bad. Like, it woke me up. Like, the stink woke me up. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like still tired, so I'm like I realize, like, okay, there's not a skunk in my bedroom. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm sitting there in bed, and I'm like, all right, what probably happened was a skunk was rummaging around the trash outside, maybe trying to get into the trash can or whatever, and something happened. Maybe it sprayed, maybe a raccoon was out there or a cat or something, and it freaked out, and it sprayed, like, the side of our house, and it's right below my air conditioner and my window. And so it got, like, blasted into my room. So I'm sitting there in my bed, and I'm like, oh, God, I don't know what to do, because I can't, what am I supposed to do? I guess I could just turn the air conditioner off, but I'm like, that wouldn't solve the problem. So, the window's still open. So I'm like, fuck it. And I just kind of, like, buried my face in the pillow and just tried to go back to sleep. And then I woke up, and it was fine. Although I woke up, I went outside, I'm like, I smelled a little bit of it lingering around. I don't think it was right outside my house, but the thing is, if you ever grow up out in the country, if you know about skunks or whatever, you could smell skunks up to, like, a mile away. Like, it's not... You can smell it. If it's, like, roadkill on the other side of town, you could smell it. It can travel. But that was disgusting. Yeah. Never seen a skunk, never smelled one. Okay, so because I've lived out in the country my whole life, I'm actually okay with a little bit of skunk smell. Like, if I'm walking around and, like, I get a smell of it, like something died, it's just like, oh, it's disgusting, but it's like, I've smelled that so many, like, skunks are pretty prevalent around here. Not a big deal. But if it's, like, super potent, like, really strong, that's, like, overwhelming. Yeah. I actually have a thing on my computer. I have, like, a little picture diagram on a recipe on how to make, like, how to wash off skunk spray. Because that is such a reality here where, you could get, like, a dog or your pet could get sprayed by a skunk. Like, you have to have, like, it's not tomato juice. Don't use tomato juice. I think I think I have it on my phone, too. Have I watched Naruto? Did I like it? I like Naruto, I was, like, probably the most into Naruto when I was in high school. Like, the Pain arc. When Naruto was fighting Pain was probably the peak of when I, like, loved Naruto. By the end, a lot of the passion I had for that story kind of waned. But yeah. How did we get on the skunk topic? Skunk sprayed outside my window the other night, and my whole room smelled like skunk. TLDR, there you go. It was not fun. Not fun. You should read the Demon Slayer manga. I've read the first 2 volumes of the Demon Slayer manga. A fan sent them to me. I enjoyed them, but I have not gotten around to reading any more or buying any more manga. Sorry. Oh, I'm starting to play D&D again. Oh, here it is. Okay, if you want to get rid of skunk smell, okay, you ready? 1 quart hydrogen peroxide, quarter cup baking soda, 1 teaspoon of liquid soap or dish detergent. So a quart of hydrogen peroxide, quarter cup of baking soda, teaspoon of liquid soap. All right, there you go. Don't use lemon, don't use tomato sauce or tomato juice or whatever other kind of thing. Yeah. But anyway, I started playing D&D again. My one friend's the group that I normally game with. Because of COVID, we couldn't, get together for a while, but we finally started getting back together again. And so I came up with a new character. So this is going to be fun. I did a sorcerer, like as my first character ever in D&D was a sorcerer. And then it was funny because we were messaging trying to figure out what our characters are going to be. And it's like, well, 2 of us are going to be rogues. So, I mean, you could be a rogue too, but I'm just letting you know that we're both rogues. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. I don't need to be a rogue anymore. Because I feel like William with One Piece D&D. And Rustage is in the chat, so this is perfect. Rustage, I'm playing D&D again with my regular group, so this is good. So I'm telling them all about, because I haven't seen them in so long, and so, yeah, another D&D. Yeah, this is going to be my second one. So, there's 2 rogues in the group, and they're like, you can be one if you want, but just keep that in mind. And I'm like, nah, I feel like I already have my essay on the rogue. My swashbuckling rogue is going to be William, and I'm probably going to stick with William until he dies. I won't roll up another rogue character in any game until William dies. If William dies. I said until as if it's going to happen. It's 100% going to happen at some point. Yeah, Rustage is here. Go check out his rap battles. They're pretty epic. I listened to the Yonko one a couple weeks ago. That one was really fire. Yeah. Tekking is cheating on the One Piece D&D. Yes. But, so no, I decided to roll up a cleric. Tekking is gonna be a cleric. Yeah. And so that'll be fun. William's gonna die next episode now because of that. Yeah. Oh yeah, good luck on the chest today, Rustage. Doing good. Yeah. I created a character in D&D. Me too! I play a swashbuckling rogue. They're fun. They're fun. This can't end well. That sounds evil. What, me playing a cleric? I'm not an edgy cleric. I'm not an... You know what I love? Hold on. I have this thing. I have all my D&D shit in here. Hold on. Okay. Heal your teammate, 14 HP. It's going to be 14. That was so weird. If anybody hasn't seen the last episode of One Piece D&D, we have a healing robot, and it's like 14 every time. And that was just like, that wasn't intentional. That's just how it worked. Anyway, so one of the things that I did do over the course of quarantine, because I was bored out of my mind, was I actually made this list here of all D&D classes, okay? And I basically, like, I made this for the idea of, like, somebody that has not really been into D&D, because seeing all these classes at once can be kind of overwhelming, because you have to read up of, like, like, if you've never played D&D before, and you see, like, okay, you want to be a paladin. Well, there's, like, 10 different kinds of paladins. That might be a little overwhelming. So I have this little cheat sheet here, where I write down, like, basically in a sentence. And sometimes I have to... I try to boil down a particular class and subclass in a sentence or less to make it quick and just simple, okay? So, for example, Paladin. Where's the Paladins? Here we go. Oh my god, there's so many Paladins. Alright, so, like, Paladin. Alright, Paladin. And they have oaths, because they're every subclass, like, Barbarians have their, like, the paths or whatever. Yeah, Barbarians have paths. Fighters obviously have the martial archetypes, the ways of the monk. But anyway, so Paladins, right? Okay. So, Paladins of Glory. Destined for greatness. They think they are prophecy children, strength bonuses, and give temporary HP. So, Paladin of Glory. You're the paladin that's going to be like, I'm awesome. I'm the main character of this manga. You know, I'm destined for glory, destined for greatness. Paladins of the Ancients. Fight for good, fight for good's sake. Control primeval forces to restrain. Damn it, I cannot fucking talk today. Fight for good's sake. They control primeval forces to restrain creatures, and they turn the faithless. Another thing I'm trying to, like, summarize is, like, what they can do. You know, it's like, okay, do you want to play a character, like a paladin that fights, or do you want to play a more supportive paladin? Like, so it's like if you play an Ancients, they have, like, a lot of abilities that can, like, restrain creatures and stuff. Devotion Paladin. Bond to justice and virtue. Magic weapons, you turn the unholy. Vengeance. Punish the sinful, even at great cost. Frighten enemies. Advantage against targets. And something else I also did with this, not everybody would understand this, but I wrote this in here as just, like, for me to understand, like, the kind of character they resemble. So with this Vengeance Paladin, I was like, okay, they punish the sinful, even at a great cost. They frighten enemies, and they have advantage against certain targets. So, as a little note, I put Kurapika from Hunter x Hunter. So if anybody's ever seen Hunter x Hunter, I'd be like, you want to be a Vengeance Paladin? You want to be Kurapika in D&D? Vengeance Paladin. There you go. That's not far off, though. I mean, there's other classes you could be, but that's not far off. But that's basically what I did, and I did this with, like, every single class. Rangers, you know. And it's also just nice just to have a list of, like, you know, what all the different subclasses are, because, you know, there's the Player's Handbook, there's Tasha's, there's Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Like, there's so many different, like, parts and everything now. How do I feel about Yamato's Devil Fruit design? I think it looks badass. No spoilers for the next chapter, but, you know, it's pretty badass. I like it, yeah. I'm tripping on acid right now. Well, good job, man. Try to ease down. I could make a Google Doc of this, yeah. And then there's the wizards. All the different kinds of wizards and stuff, you know, and that's easy because it's like Abjuration is like defensive spells, Conjuration is you summon, Divination is you predict shit, Enchantment is you manipulate, Evocation is attack spells. So if you just want to be like, I want to be a wizard that burns things, that throws fireballs, be like, Evocation, you're an Evocation wizard, good job. Maybe even a war mage is something better for you because, did I write that down? Yeah, war magic. So they have this edition in Xanathar's Guide to Everything, which is just war magic, and it's just evocation and abjuration together. It's attack and defense magic in one thing, and then you're a war mage, which makes sense. I mean, if you were going off to war, being an having abjuration, defensive spells, and, you know, evocation would just make sense. Yeah, necromancy. You control life energy, zombie stuff. I literally just wrote control life energy, zombie stuff, you know? Because necromancy does not necessarily mean you're evil. It doesn't mean, like, you raise the dead for evil to raise an army of zombies and mummies to take over the world or anything like that. It doesn't mean you're evil. It just means, like, necromancy is, like, in D&D, there's, like, a thread of, like, life energy. And as a necromancer, you learn to, like, bend and manipulate that thread. Alright, but you're not necessarily evil. You know, yeah, I mean, I know you think of the typical, like, evil necromancer wizard at the castle outside of town that's raising up a undead zombie dragon to take over the area, but they're not all like that. But yeah, this is fun. Yeah, I might put this up as a I have to actually adjust this because there were some classes I think I wrote down that weren't actual classes, so I have to go back and rework this a bit. But there's an Artificer class now, too, because of Tasha's. Yeah. But one thing I did say is the edgy stuff, is that there's, like, in not every class, but a lot of classes, there's, like, an edgy variant to that class. Like, so, I don't think there's one for bards. Let's see. There is a type of cleric called Grave Clerics. And then there's, like, for druids, I don't think there's one for druids. Let's see here. They might be near the end. Paladins, there's definitely one for Paladin. There's the Oathbreaker Paladin. You're the edgy Paladin. It's like, I'm a Paladin for glory, but I lost my way, and now I follow the way of evil. You know, so, like, you're an edgy Paladin, basically. Rogues. Phantom Rogues. There's a subclass for rogues called Phantom Rogues. Those are edgy rogues. You have death powers, and you get these things called death tokens and shit. Let's see. There's warlocks. All warlocks are kind of edgy, just by extension. But you could be, well, not all of them, because some of them follow Fae. They don't necessarily have to be demons. But, There's one called the Hexblade. I think that's pretty edgy. Not X-Blade. Hexblade, Yeah. Isn't a Scald an edgy bard? I don't know if I put Scald on here. I just put the colleges on here. So Eloquence, Lore, Valor, Glamour, Swords, Whispers, and Creation. Those are the ones I had on there. Now, there's also, like, homebrew kind of subclasses you can have. And I think I included some of those on here, too, that aren't actually in the official books. But, those aren't... You'd have to talk to the DM about that, and have to go over the rules with them if they're, like, homebrew subclasses and stuff. Yeah. How do I get into playing D&D? Probably the best thing for you to do is get the starter kit first. It's about $20. It's not that much compared to some of the books can be like $50 or more. But the starter kit has everything you really need to know. It has a little pamphlet to kind of flip through and read all the basic rules. I was really intimidated when I was trying to get into D&D because I'm like, there's so many rules you have to learn. And I read that book, that little pamphlet. I read that all in about a day. And I didn't even, read it all at once. I, read it a little bit, then came back to it. In about a day, I pretty much had the basic rules figured out. And then you just learn the rest of it just by experience. If you know somebody that's a DM, which we did, you just sit down, you play the game, and you kind of figure stuff up. It just kind of clicks as you go, It's not $2,000. It's $2,000. It is a lot because it's like equivalent to like $100. But it's like I think that's the symbol for the Indian currency. I want to say it's rupees, but I feel like that's Legend of Zelda. Now I think ruples is Russian. Rupees is from the Legend of Zelda, but I think it is also a currency in the real world too, and I think it is the Indian currency. Yeah. I didn't age at all, yeah, no. Yeah, YouTube has been pushing that one lately. I don't get it, but, whatever. The algorithm is so weird with YouTube. It's rupees. Yeah, I'm right. Okay, I knew it. I wasn't that crazy. D&D is experience. No, it really is. You want the honest answer? It is. You could sit around reading the books all you want if you've never played before. Things are going to get caught off guard because D&D is chaos kind of personified, So you could read the books and, you want to get your hands on the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Monster Manual at some point. Those are the 3 core books. You want to get those at some point, but, you really just have to go and play some games, and then you learn as it goes, right? To be a player... Or if you want to try to be a DM yourself. The first time I DM'd, it was fucking horrible because I didn't understand, I started off my characters at level 7, but I was throwing, I didn't, understand, how the monsters could even, I threw level 3 creatures at them and they just steamrolled every fight they got. And I just didn't know how to, structure it correctly. I mean, it was not a great first adventure. But yeah. Yeah, I read the spoilers for the upcoming chapters, but we're not going to talk about them here because they're spoilers and stuff. But yeah, because I do talk about the chapters, I like to know at least in advance what I'm going to be talking about. So I try to read the spoilers of One Piece at least. I don't read the spoilers for every manga. Sometimes I read Dr. Stone, because Dr. Stone I get really excited. I need to know what happens. But when it comes to One Piece, as soon as the spoilers are out, usually on the Reddit, I read them because I need to know, prepare, okay... Let's think about this for 3 or 4 days and figure out what this really means and maybe come up with an idea, and then we'll do it, yeah. Yes, the D&D Alexander, that's a good point. The D&D website also has all that shit, and it's for free, I believe. I think there is a service you can sign up for, but all the main stuff you want to find is free. And even if it's not on the D&D website, you can find, a list of the basic rules to print out or whatever. It's because the basic rules of D&D, to be a character... maybe 3 or 4 pages, you can fit the information on. It's really not that hard, the biggest calculations are just rolling up a character. That's basically where most of the rolls come from. You know, how to calculate your skills, how to calculate what your proficiency bonus is, you know, all that stuff is pretty much just, there's like certain calculations. What's your spell DC if you're a spellcaster, you know. Recommend Necromancy for a beginner D&D. That would be a fun roll. I've never played, no, I've played a wizard before, but it was only like a one-off campaign, and I've never played it before or since. But this cleric that I'm rolling up, basically it's a character that's very similar to me in terms of at least appearance. He's like super short. But I wanted to make something a little bit different. I didn't want to do a cleric that was like, you know, always preaching to like, you know, grew up out in a monastery or whatever. And it's like always, you got to pray to God, everybody. I didn't want to make a cleric like that. So I basically, you ever see Castlevania? The Belmont family, or you ever play any of the Castlevania games? Kind of like that, where I have, like, he's part of a noble family that trains clerics and paladins specifically to fight against the creatures of the undead, but they don't all worship the same deity. It's sort of like you can come to this place and you can pick whatever deity you want, follow whatever path for good. As long as it's a path for good, or at least not a path for evil, they'll train them and teach them how to be paladins and clerics. And my character is named Corbin, and he is the youngest of the family. I gave him a bunch of brothers and sisters because I thought of Ronald Weasley from Harry Potter. I mean, that would be a cool dynamic to have like a bunch of brothers and sisters. And I'm an only child, so I've never had that. So he's the youngest of 7 siblings, 4 brothers and 2 sisters. And, you know, he followed the path of the forest goddess. So he's a forest, he's a nature cleric, which is kind of like cleric with a little spice of druid on top of it, so I can learn like a few druid things. And so it's an interesting character. I've never played a cleric or a druid before, for that matter, so we'll see where it pans out. And he's like a short guy with like silver hair, green eyes. I thought that was really cool. Like the family members all have like green eyes and shit. Yeah. Would you want siblings? I don't think I would want siblings in real life, but, you know, as a character, it's like something different. You know, I'm an only child my whole life. All the other characters I've created, like even Trevor for One Piece D&D, Trevor was created as like he was an orphan, and I left all the backstory stuff up to Rustage. So with Trevor and with, you know, the Chapston family, that was all Rustage. He created all that, because I knew he would. I knew it was like, all right, I'm going to make an orphan character with no real family backstory. Rustage is going to be the one to take care of that. And he did, marvelously. So, yeah. Yeah, I'll be leaving soon. It's been about an hour and a half. So this was a good stream. It was all right. That one super chat was dark as fuck. But beyond that, I mean, this is an all right stream. Yeah. Talked about some D&D stuff. I'm just happy to do D&D shit again, like in person. Like Rustage, if you're still in here, I love the One Piece D&D. It's super fun. I want to keep doing it as long as possible, but it's really fun to do it in person again. And we're gonna start that next week. We were gonna start it this weekend, but somebody was sick and we had to push it back. So we're gonna start that maybe next week, and it'll be fun. One of my close friends is DMing. It's gonna be a good time. I'll keep you updated on what happens in our adventure. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen with it yet, or what our DM has in store, so we'll see how that goes. What's for dinner tonight? I have eaten like shit the last 2 days, to be honest with you. Like, a lot of running around, a lot of doing stuff. I had pizza for like 3 meals yesterday. I had leftover pizza and a fresh pizza for like 3 meals. So, and I had breakfast today, like eggs and sausage and stuff, so I have some kale in the fridge. I'm going to fry up some kale, you know, and some onions, and have some of that. And I'll probably make, I made a stir fry from my garden the other day. I had my first wave of peppers came in. So I have peppers and sweet peppers and some cilantro and stuff. Got some mushrooms and some carrots. I wasn't growing those. I bought those. And my next door neighbor, she's growing zucchini. So she gave me a zucchini. So I chopped up the zucchini, mushroom, carrots, peppers, and threw them all in a stir fry with some steak and some General Tso's like stir fry sauce. Oh my God, it was and some onions. Fucking delicious. It was amazing. It was probably the best stir fry I think I've ever made. And I was just shotgunning it. I wasn't even like following a recipe. I was just throwing shit in. It's like, all right, cook the steak first. I'm like, okay, cook the onions and stuff and the meat juices. And it all worked together. I don't know how healthy it was, but it was good. That was a good ass stir fry. I want to do that again. But yeah. Oh, by the way, I also have the new My Hero Academia Season 5 Part 2. theme stuck in my head. That's been the song that's been in my head for the past few days. So that's a thing. I remember Ustream. Yeah, Ustream was fun. That was the first streaming platform I ever used, was Ustream. It still exists, but it's only for corporations, like for big corporations to use as like a telecommunication, like a board meeting kind of program. It's like $1,000 a year for like the program now to use Ustream, because it's not for everyday people anymore. So that sucks. But yeah, Ustream was fun. I remember Ustream. It's crazy you did a collab with ABD. Great job. Well, thank you. There's 2 that are out right now. There will be more. There was another one that, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's at least one more coming up. And in fact, maybe even more than that. So yeah, I love working with those guys, Anime Balls Deep. Go check out their channel. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do those collabs for them, yeah, with them. But yeah, the merry-go-round. Oh my god, it's such a... The carousel goes up and goes down. God, that is such a good song. That might be actually my favorite My Hero Academia intro. I'm going through them. There's some that are really good, but that one has been stuck in my head, I think, longer than all the other ones have. Yeah. Did you know Aokiji does not have a left leg and right hand? Yes. That was actually revealed directly in Film Z. Like, you actually see his body, like, missing limbs in Film Z. In the manga, I don't think it was shown yet, actually. Aokiji really hasn't shown up that much in the manga. Punk Hazard, and then that was pretty much it. Like, we've seen him around or mentioned a lot. Yeah, we haven't really, touched base with Aokiji in a long time. Tekking is really hot, bro. It's only 72 degrees in this room right now. Oh, by the way, also, sorry for doing metric in that other video. A lot of people got mad about that. Not mad, but people are just like, damn it, Tekking, we don't know metric. So I did that video on the tallest characters in One Piece. And see, that video I filmed right after I got back from the dentist. And so that was, yeah, half my face was like numb. So I'm like, I got to get a video out today, though. And I'm like, let's just keep it simple. Let's just do this tallest One Piece characters. And I did it. And I'm like, okay, so on the wiki, all of their heights are listed as meters only. They don't include, well, actually, I think they do include both, but not everyone includes both. Anyway, so at any rate, I didn't want to do more editing than I had to, just because, like, my mouth was kind of hurting. So it's like, I just want to get this done. So I apologize for just using metric for that. Next time we do a video like that, I don't know any kind of video, other video I would do, but if I ever do another video that involves metric, I will make sure to include both metric and the US Imperial. It's just, in that one particular instance, my mouth was hurting, and I just wanted to get that done and out as fast as possible. So I apologize. A lot of people were like, because a lot of my audience is, yeah, most of the world does use metric, but I think like over 50% of my audience is from America. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't like, I don't want you guys to think it was like a huge backlash or anything, but I noticed a few people like, kind of like, I have to keep checking to see what a meter was or anything, but I'm sorry. So next time will be both. Yeah. Let's see here. The Maramara no Mi is very overrated. What is your opinion on it? I made a whole video about the Maramara. I think it's been, maybe the reason overrated is thrown out is because that fruit was focused on a lot in this story. It's Ace's fruit, it's Sabo's fruit, it was the whole premise of the Colosseum battle. So maybe just like because it's mentioned so much in the story, it's supposed to, maybe people think of it as more OP than it really is. But we'll have to see what Sabo does with it. Maybe Sabo will develop, he'll get the awakening of it, and that'll be the next level. Where did the Tekking101 came from? I've explained this before, I've told this story, but TLDR, I was a fan of Zoe 101 growing up when I was like 12, 13. There was an episode where they used these cell phones called Tekmates, spelled Tekkmate, I think, or Tekkmate. I think there's just one K. But anyway, I saw that episode, and that's where I got the Tech from, and Tech King, because I just thought it sounded cool. And then the 101 from Zoe 101. I used it on like online forums for a while, and then in 2009 I started the channel. Didn't think I would get this, I would have 600,000 something subscribers at one point. But I'm actually happy I picked that word because it's like my own word that I created. It's not like I mean, I could have named myself like Frankie Fan 3619 or whatever, and it'd been like, whatever. That's fine. That's a YouTube name. But I'm glad I picked Tekking because it's like, it's a word, right? It's just a word. Like, it's a nonsense word I kind of made up, you know, and so there you go. Yeah. You've said TLDR now twice. Please stop that. That's my new thing to say. I was rewatching Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and Cell says that, like, TLDR, and I'm like, okay, I'll use that from now on. That's my new little fad. It's not working? Okay. It's not working? I gotcha. Do more videos on the JoJo stands. Yeah, I made a video once where I just didn't have any ideas. Or that one day, I didn't feel like doing a One Piece video, and I'm like, I need to do something, and it'd be like, JoJo stands! And I talked about JoJo stands. But I have a little wheel that I can pull up and talk about stands, so I should do that again, yeah. That was a fun little video to make. But yeah, VTuber avatar. When will Tekking get his VTuber avatar? My avatar would probably be a giant mechanical crab. Giant mechanical crab or a duck. A steampunk duck that has like a steampunk wing and like, you know, pipes coming out of it or something. That would be cool. Yeah, steampunk duck. But anyway, yeah, we've been going for about an hour and a half now, a little bit over that. I think this is a good one. I'm gonna end the stream about here. Tomorrow, I still do not know what I'm really talking about tomorrow because there's no Shonen Jump. I could just talk about My Hero or Dr. Stone anyway. In fact, tomorrow, getting caught up on Dr. Stone would be good, because I usually do videos. I don't do chapter reviews of Dr. Stone. I usually just do a video where I, like, summarize the story since the last time I made a video. It's been a while, and there's really not much else going on right now. There was a new Dragon Ball Super movie that was announced. Dragon Ball Super, I think it's just called Super Heroes, I think. Or just Dragon Ball Super Heroes. I don't know what it's exactly called. But that was announced yesterday, so maybe I'll talk about that. It's been a while since I made it. It's been a long time since I made a Dragon Ball video. You know what? I might just do a poll. I might just do a poll on the Twitter, you know, and just be like, hey, which video am I doing tomorrow? You know, Dr. Stone recap, Dragon Ball movies coming out. You know, maybe I'll do something like that. I do have an idea. I should probably write that one down because I almost forgot what it was. Oh, shit. I think I forgot what that video idea was. Ah, crap, what was it? It was a good idea! Ah, damn it! Oh, man, this is why you write shit down the second you get an idea. That's a tip for aspiring YouTubers. If you have an idea, write it down. Even if you're, like, in a restaurant, like, grab the ketchup and the napkin and write it down that way. Oh, shit, what was that idea? Okay, it was about, oh... It's like there. Like, I know what it's supposed to be, but I just don't know what it's supposed to. Damn you, ADD. ADHD. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh, damn it. It was something involving each of the Straw Hats. I remember that. It was like each of the Straw Hats doing something. But I don't remember what it was. I'll have to go back and watch the part in the stream where I mentioned it, and maybe that'll jog my memory. I'll have to do that. But yeah, for tomorrow, I'll put out, like, a Twitter poll or something, and, yeah, we could do that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great night, everybody. This will be Tekking. Barry's down there, but he says signing out. See you tomorrow, everybody. Later.